Alright, is this thing on? Fuck yeah. I got no editing software. Let's just go. Talking about the Lost Vikings. This is the other team. So, I'm not an amazing player. Usually been around like mid-silver. Never quite hit gold in Hero League. Team League, I'm like been in gold a lot. Get carried. You know how it is. My point being, and now I'm bronze 2, I think, because they, matchmaking now, you know, you never know. They had me at gold for a little bit in the placements, and then dropped me down to bronze a couple games later. It was heartbreaking. Anyway, not that great, but I feel like since I've played a lot of StarCraft and like this kind of gameplay, I'm pretty good at Lost Vikings, and usually win. I think I'm 7-1 in Hero League this season. And that's all the bragging I'm going to do, just so I have some small amount of credentials. So what we're going to see here is the usual split. Eric's top, Olaf's bot, Balog's mid. Now, when I say usual split, I don't mean that you put Eric top and Olaf bot and Balog mid every time. What I mean is, the usual split is Eric, let's start with Olaf. Olaf is the best solo lane Viking. If you have like a Sonya on the enemy team, or I don't know, a Thrall, I don't know how good he is these days, something like that, that you need to deal with, because the rest of your team will be grouping as 4. The most important thing to do is to have Olaf in the spot where the guy is getting really bullied, because Eric can take the other solo lane, if there is one, and kind of watch the lanes when there's an enemy possible. It's not necessarily safe, because he has the ability to escape just because he's so swift. He's almost as good as Olaf, and once you get to level 4, we'll talk about talents. That'll be interesting, but I'll save that for later. He's who I send to the other lane if everybody's grouped in the center, for instance. And then Balog, because he's not as stout as Olaf, you can get some auto attacks in, but if they turn on him, he dies. If 2 heroes decide to turn on you, like okay, so here's 2 heroes. There's Chen and Vala. If they just go, oh wait, there's Balog there, we could kill him, and they jump on, Chen jumps on me, and Vala starts hitting me, I'm dead before I can react. Like it's over. But as long as I play him pretty safe position-wise and keep an eye on him, more importantly, and you'll notice that's what I do here in lieu of getting a couple minions of XP on both lanes, just 2 though, is I get him the fuck out of there, because it's very important that I don't let him die. He was auto-attacking towards the front, it gets hit by an orb, and then I go, shit. But I eventually get my Vikings bot lane and top lane to soak those lanes, and miss almost no XP, and more importantly, keep everyone alive, because keeping your Vikings alive will get you more XP than getting a couple extra minions, so you always want to play it safe. Very, very safe. Now we see that Balog also gets to use his pushing power in the stacked lane. He clears the wave faster, and we're able to rotate. Now Samuro goes and takes this camp, I guess, and we've got Li Ming top and Dahaka bottom. Now, luckily Dahaka goes bottom, because Olaf is the best of my Vikings to deal with it. And you'll notice that they have to send the Li Ming top, because their composition includes 2 ranged, very glass cannon-y, to the point where one of them has a talent called Glass Cannon, I think, or some reference to it. 2 glass cannon-y DPS characters, and 1 healer with pretty, like, iffy throughput when it comes to just, like, keeping everybody topped off. Dahaka and Chen are great bruisers, but you'll see Dahaka needs the solo lane, which leaves Chen with the healer and a DPS, and the other solo laner has to be this Li Ming in this case. So obviously, as soon as she doesn't have backup from the team and to have a front line or some kind of support, she can't handle this on her own, and Tracer chases her off. She almost kills Eric, but, you know, I react luckily in time, and then Tracer gets the pick off. It's great. So what we're going to see is Olaf chasing the Dahaka because I just want to tell him, you know what, I may be small, but I'm not as small as the other guys who are even smaller, and honestly, you know, you better watch out. So the call here is I go rotate bot, because what I see is we've got Tracer top lane alone, we've got a Nubarak with Brightwing who is porting away, and Balog, I guess she's not alone because she's with Eric, but she's 2/3 alone. Olaf is bot lane and trying to defend this tower, because it's pretty bad if we lose that, so I'm just trying to like deal any amount of damage I can. But I asked them to rotate, and in doing so also get them to group up, because I really need the team to be as 4, as opposed to this Tracer, who continues to... She goes bot, I think, here, or maybe she stays top, and then later I ask her more directly to stay as 4. And then later again. So, Samuro ends up taking this mercenary camp. That was great. Love that. I think we just had, like, much better players who were just misplaced on our team, so that also helped. You'll see that the end is pretty dominating, but, like, I'm just going to be focusing on the Viking gameplay, because that's what I'm trying to, like, talk about, you know? Got a Nubarak, and the rest of our 4 squad hanging out in the mid lane. It would have... Oh, the sappers hit the wall, which is great. I wasn't actually sure if they would or not. But, basically what we're going to see now is these guys... if everything goes well, these guys will be staying together like this, pushing this lane super hard, and then Li Ming has to waste all of her time just kind of like killing minions and soaking XP. And then it was a little late to the objective and stuff. Dahaka, same exact thing. I'm going to send Balog over here to take the altar that's most easy to capture, because we have the resources in terms of manpower, Viking power, and Panda power, etc. To like threaten this shrine, install it, and hopefully also threaten this altar. I said it right this time. You know, even if like Olaf needs to take a bunch of damage and just hit Dahaka a couple times. So it's very important that you get a Viking on the easy one and just cap it, because otherwise you're wasting, like, there's a lot of opportunity cost in not doing that. So he beats up Olaf and goes after that shrine, and this Lili comes for Balog while Eric is going top. So I call that Lili's top right, she heads top left, and the first time I recorded this video it didn't work, and I said like, oh, this awesome call got this Lili killed, and then I just realized she walked into all 4 of them alone. So, you know, stay humble, people. They fight this. Dahaka takes this because Olaf is too beat up, and I concede it. And Eric continues to push top lane. But we fight off... I don't know if we win this or not. So what's going to ensue here is... Oh, right, Brightwing comes bot lane. I think because she was attempting to fight for this altar, but Dahaka gets it before she has a chance, because she, as you can see, she recently blinked over here. So she ends up kind of way out of position, and I think that's how we lose this fight. Enough of this straw. Thank you, though. Gotta be nice. And Tracer gets killed, and so's my bad. Although you might be able to point at the Brightwing as also being her bad. But I didn't think of this. You just want to keep PMA. Be nice. Positive. So yeah, these guys start pulling back because, given the even lower throughput of Brightwing than Lili, when they've just got like a tank and a damage dealer beating each other in the face with bronze level mechanics, or approximately, the Lili one just wins. So we lose this fight. Tracer had died, so that canceled out the fact that Li Ming wasn't there. So we take a loss in terms of the towers, but if I could draw a parallel to Magic the Gathering, if you'll allow me to, You use your life total as a resource. This map doesn't have, like, an advantage gain from getting closer to killing them. Because it is literally, you're just dealing damage to the core. So imagine if there were no keeps on a map, and you just had to hit the core. Well, if you take 10% of your core on damage, but get some other shit done that will later allow you to get more damage on their core, then you're cool with that. You use your life total as a resource. In this case, the only thing that dealing a lot of damage does is it threatens to end the game when you deal a lot of damage. But they haven't dealt a lot of damage, so they're not threatening to end the game at all, which means that the first points are essentially meaningless, and it takes... I really think this is a very well-designed map because... I asked the Tracer to follow the team here. Because of that dynamic where... there's a scoreboard as opposed to, like, a map that you have to take over. And when there's a scoreboard, you can start out with a lot of points, and then the other team can get a lot of points, and then you go back and forth. There's, like... It's a very different, and I wouldn't want all HOTS maps to be like this, but I like it. It's a good map. Vikings are really good. That's the real reason I like it here. Okay, so these sappers get in on the towers because we kind of shove them back, or they shove them back. The Tracer says that okay when I asked her to follow the team, and groups up with them, and that should lead to them winning a fight here. Actually, it would have, except for I pinged assist on this Dahaka, who was taking this camp, which was a very bad call and led everybody to leave their strong position pushing top lane and just kind of go nowhere. But I got lucky because the shrines spawned down here. Like, I think it tells you that they spawned down there, but I probably wasn't paying attention, so I just was like, yeah, that's my bad. Again, keep it humble. PMA. Eric and Baylog just soak here. Olaf's taken a bit of damage, but will regenerate it fast because with the globe changes, Regen Master, I guess it's just called Viking Regeneration. It's just their trait. It's super powerful. You'll notice that I am full now when I was over there at 75%, approximately. So Olaf just goes in and misses a spin to win, or maybe that was... No, just misses. Maybe that was for Eric. I don't know. He gets this shrine, though. And these guys kind of take a commanding position top altar. I keep calling them shrines. It's the same thing. We've got just Eric here because Brightwing and Samuro have to back off. We committed 2 people, Tracer, Anubarak, and Olaf, to the bot one. And really smashed it and ended up kind of losing the mid one. And what's going to happen throughout the game until it's pretty much decided in our favor is we're going to be behind on points. They go down to 32, but we go down to 28. And we're just going to keep trading because we've already gained a full level lead. We're going to get level 10 possibly before they get level 8. Because I think you get experience for bribing mercs. I'm pretty sure you do. And I'm also soaking mid, and I on my way ping mid. Soaking bot, and on my way ping mid for the Eric who's on the way. I take this, but I don't notice that Vala's right there. She has to spend a little bit of time destroying it, but I don't think that was necessarily worth it. But we do have 10 now, so you'll notice any fights that break out we have a not massive advantage on, and the bronze players probably won't be super cognizant of that. Oh, that's my main advice, by the way. If you want to win, just get placed in bronze, and then you can just carry, because they're bad. I'm in silver, so I can say that. What happens next is I think 2 in a row are solo altars, which is fucking rad, because, like, whether we win it or not, there just needs to be a fight there for a while, and I'm just gonna make sure that, again, the Li Ming and the Vala are trying to solo lane. Even, I type a heart because they saved Eric. I didn't show it, but they did. And I noticed that Baylog was getting killed as I started typing that, but my APM just wasn't high enough to get it out, and I really decided I wanted to prioritize sending the heart since they saved Eric. So Balog was a concession there. You can afford a few of those. You'll notice that. Vala cleared those mercs, and the lane is pushed up a bit because she hasn't been able to push much and because Balog was there pushing. Like I said earlier, when Balog's alone and is being bullied, being aggressed, if you will, it's really bad for him. He just dies. So that's what happened there, especially because I was typing. And Eric is going to sulk mid lane now. And I think what I do is I just send Eric up to top lane and send Olaf to mid lane and just let the four of them take the shrine or fight for it, because I know that Vol is way out of position and Li Ming's low. So it's just like an easy one if I... And since it's already won, essentially, or tied, even, tied is fine, just get XP. So that's how I decided to deal with the fact that I lost Balog, and he respawns here and heads down bot lane, and I think he ends up capturing the shrine while they beat their asses. You'll notice that we're level 12 and they're level 10 right now. And this kind of illustrates why I love the Lost Vikings, so I want to talk about that real quick, because this video is intended to inform you of how to play the Lost Vikings from the perspective of somebody who's decent, medium, 50%, I don't know. Skill is subjective and relative, so in any case, regardless of my qualifications, my thoughts on the Vikings I want to share with people, both so I can educate you and so that I can convince you to play them, because it's so fucking rad. Like, look at this, we're 2 levels ahead. Look at these, look what happened here. These guys are just already dead, and it just speaks volumes. Because as soon as the tanks are 2 levels behind, they'll still survive taking hits and maybe get some CC, and they're okay. The damage dealers have just a pittance of HP, and they take 1 crit from a Samuro, and they're like, fuck, I gotta leave. So even though these tanks aren't clued in on the fact, because they're both using their bruiser abilities to keep their HP up, which is great, except we killed their healer at some point, I think off-screen. She was killed off-screen. And so even if the healer was alive, it would take a very long time to get these people in fighting shape, as it were. The fight's over because it's level 12 versus level 10. Look at this, look at this, look at this. This XP, we get that XP. This XP, this XP, this XP, they don't get that XP. That's why this is happening. And when this happens, all of the decisions that everybody on your team and the other team make are rendered largely irrelevant, because you have a pure statistical advantage that makes all of the other people pawns in the game that you are controlling with the amount of advantage that your team gets. It's like, instead of playing a hero, you just have a knob, and whenever you want, you get to just turn it up a little bit and say, oh, my team's better than your team. Oh, my team's a little better than your team. If you do it too much, then they'll kill you. But, like, as long as you're a little passive about it, yeah, you just win the game, and you don't have to do anything. My buddy Adam, who I'll show this video to, I'm sure, so hi, Adam. I waved, but you can't see it. He goes like, oh, if I, like, get a level advantage for my team or help my team secure a level advantage, I want to take advantage of it and kill some people, fuck some shit up. And I'm like, I didn't say this at the time, but my opinion, his opinion is totally valid. My opinion, which makes it so appealing to me, is that you're just making everybody else less important, and like, just seeing the larger picture, and the skirmishes between these underlings just aren't important to you. You go in and throw a couple, like, spin to wins and, like, half-hearted auto attacks out in these fights. You take the altar while nobody's looking, and you just win the game. You don't have to beat anybody up. You just win the game. I think if you have more aggressive tendencies and a mindset where you really like kicking ass, then the Vikings might not be for you. But if you just like to fucking win the game, just really, really win the game on a direct level, you should play Vikings. There's the rant. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit because there's Clown Fiesta. I mean, it's not really a Clown Fiesta because everybody's grouped on the objective, which is great. But it's a Clown Fiesta because even as we lose this, we are continuing to, as I pointed out, get all that XP. And they kind of get beat up, and they lose Brightwing early, and I think Anubarak was out of mana, and Samuro just goes in and dies for no reason after the point's already been taken, which Anubarak is not super happy about. But we're still fine, because Dahaka brushstalks top because I took these mercenaries, and this is great, because now we get to talk about the talents. We missed a couple, because most of them are cookie cutter. Always take jump, always take spin to win, in my opinion. That one's kind of close, but I take spin to win every game. I'll just say that. Viking bribery, pretty much take it every game. The other talents are kind of irrelevant. Level 4. You can take Merklord. And on this map, I don't really know the exact numbers of how much extra damage your sappers do when you're Merklording them, both to minions and to structures. I don't know the numbers. It's 50%, but I don't know how much damage they do, so I don't know. I can't, that isn't something that I can make relative in a way that I understand. In any case. Instead of taking Merklord, you just take Eric the Swift. And as I skirmish with this Dahaka, I'm dealing as much damage to him in terms of HP as he is to me. And my HP pool is way lower, so you'd think that that would make him kill me, but I'm regenerating 57 health per second. Baylog died for, I don't remember, I think he was just involved in this fight, and I just had him auto-attacking while I was making sure the globes were getting picked up and also other trivial things. But, just soaking XP, Baylog died. And Olaf is just sitting in this bush, which is as safe as you can get, because he's probably in the range for this. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe he's not quite close enough, but he'll get some of these. He's getting some XP in this lane and is ready to get more XP, and is going to stay alive to get more XP. So I have full free license to just micro Eric, and I don't do anything, great. But I just run around and poke at him, make him use his trait to heal himself, and he just realizes that, he's been wasting his time up there, and Li Ming just got killed because their off-tank was missing. They're outnumbered, right? Olaf is alone mid lane. Eric is fighting Dahaka top lane at that point. Now Dahaka's mid lane because he's heading down. But for that period of time, we had Baylog, Samuro, Anubarak, Tracer, and Brightwing fighting just these three. What are these people gonna do? Or, excuse me, these 4 v4. What are they gonna do when they don't have an off-tank who can actually CC to peel for them? They have Lily, who's a subpar healer, and, again, the advice is play in bronze, because they draft poorly and stuff. And, just the 4v4 that occurs here, I said it was a 3v4, but it's a 4v4 because I've gotten Dahaka distracted by killing the Mercs and fighting Eric. The 4v4 is in our favor because, again, we have a level lead. So our composition isn't fantastic, but it's a 4v4.33 or 4.25, depending on which metric you're going by. So we have a slight advantage in that I could just soak up some damage and do a couple autos, and we fucking just can destroy them, of course. 4v4, we've got maybe 2 levels for an instant, definitely a talent tier advantage, and then after they get 13, still a stat advantage. Yeah, we just kick their asses. Maybe. I don't remember. Oh, Tracer almost dies. That's a good save. These guys are just soaking. Okay, so Lily's sustain again beats out Brightwing's sustain, and we lose this fight. Like I was saying, we continue to... I thought we'd win that, but what I keep coming back to is how irrelevant all of these fights are, and how we can use our life total, or core damage, as a resource, and concede these early. Again, we get this XP. We get this XP. They don't get this XP. They don't get this XP. Etc. We pull so far ahead that it doesn't matter. Anubarak runs out of mana, apparently. Yeah. A couple of them die before they figure out that they should leave. Maybe just one. Great. Just one of them dies. So what are they doing now? They're not noticing that Baylog is actually clearing this wave and dealing damage to their fort pretty soon. And they don't notice for a disgustingly long time, and I really should have died here, but eventually I figure out that I need to send him down to this bush, because, holy shit, there's all 5 of them between me and our fort. But they didn't notice. So Samuro takes this. We kill this fort. We take this. Oh, no, their team took that? No, our team took that. Yeah, we're the red team. It's confusing, because I expect us to be blue. We take 2 camps. We end up getting both of these towers. And now we're getting some kills, because we regroup as a team. Samuro's not there, but in the... It's like a 3v3, it turns out. Or maybe even we win 3v4. I don't know. Dahaka's up here again. That's the thing. So now we're 3 levels ahead. That's a talent tier advantage and 3 levels of stats. I take Largen in charge, because you can get some really key stuns at really crucial moments, and it, you know, I'm not sure what the other options are off the top of my head, because I think I just take this one most of the time. There's others that are fine. Don't think that I'm telling you to never do anything else, but Largen in charge is a good, safe bet. That you can do something cool with it, and you can impress your teammates by, like, oh, you interrupt an ultimate, right? And you're fucking Olaf. You're 1/3 of the Lost Vikings. You are worth 0.25 XP. That's pretty fun. So I always take Largen in charge. At this point is what I was referring to when we just have pulled ahead and are clearly on a path to certain victory. We're 3 levels ahead. It's going to be ages before they get to the talent tier that we're currently on, and we'll probably get 20 by then. Or it's close. So, everything else that happens doesn't matter a whole lot. What am I doing? What are we doing? Olaf soaking mid. Eric is just, like, clicking on fucking Dahaka. Balog takes the bot altar. Nobody's died on their team, but they can't defend this. Oh, I actually lose this, I think I lost one of the shrines because I fucked up with Lili. I wasn't paying attention to all that because, again, it's not super important. We lose some of the shrines, but we pull ahead on them because we take 2 of 3. I think I wanted to take all 3 and fucked it up, and that's why I said sorry, if I'm understanding that correctly. So I see Balog, can't get too close here or he'll die. Olaf is kind of just being useless here. So what should my guys be doing right now? Since we're taking this tower, we take an aggressive position here with these guys. And both of our melee, like, bruiser types are away from here, but we have the tower to tank for us, so we just chase them down. Balog helps a little bit with that. Meanwhile, Eric is getting beat up top lane, and I think I dodge a Q. I don't know what it is. Just chill out there. Eric soaks the XP here. Balog dies to these guys, and Tracer and Brightwing swap up here. So we're just kind of conceding this tower, and we also lost this one, and we're just focusing on taking this one, because you can just flip the towers, like, that's fine. If you kill a tower, and they kill it back, and you kill a tower and they kill it back, if you're soaking as much P as the Lost Vikings do, and bribing merc camps right as the altars come up, with really cool timing. You could just swap the towers back and forth, right? Like, they took this one back, we're immediately going to take it again. These altars, I take the safe one like I was saying earlier. I encourage Samuro to go to the objective. And then what happens is, we're clearly getting close to level 20. We kill the Li Ming. Chen is gonna die here probably. I'm not sure if we win this fight or not, but I just send 2 Vikings bot lane, because when I get Fury of the Storm, it increases your pushing power multiplicatively, and you get AoE. It's like pretty insane. So you'll notice, as we kill more of them and take this altar and then go take the boss and nearly kill it, just end the game, these guys are pushing so hard with Fury of the Storm that they're forced to respond to that, and just try to take this tower and then go bot lane. Actually, they don't respond, and I just run away because I'm expecting them to. But they took this tower. A couple of them are respawning. I don't know what I was expecting. I barely get away with Eric there. These guys take this Merc camp. They've been great with just taking Merc camps. I guess sometimes when you're playing with Lost Vikings, you can't figure out what else to do. Just dodge that Q, because I'm red. Not gonna lie. So then I back off here, and since Zamuro has already killed one of these, Spin to Win plus Fury of the Storm just clears this camp out insanely fast. We're level 20, and the Mercs, I think, are probably between our level and the enemy level, or I'm not sure how the Mercs spawn in terms of what their stats are, but yeah, they get cleared out almost instantly, and then I just wait to take this. So I thank Sam for starting the camp. Eric could be hitting the tower. Oh, good job. And then Olaf goes and secures this. Balog takes this once the altar spawns, so there's a little bit of cross pressure. We immediately get this and win the game. GG! That's the whole thing. That's how you play with Vikings. So now I'm gonna, I think this is working, I'm gonna cut this off and then record another video of me actually playing Vikings. Or maybe I won't.